email that was sent where he wanted to know what you did this week. You know why he wanted that, by the way? I thought it was great. Because we have people that don't show up to work and nobody even knows if they work for the government. So by asking the question, tell us what you did this week, what he's doing is saying, are you actually working? And then if you don't answer, like you're sort of semi-fired or you're fired, because a lot of people are not answering because they don't even exist. They're trying to find, that's how badly various parts of our government were run by, and especially by this last group. So what they're doing is they're trying to find out who's working for the government. Are we paying other people that aren't working? And, you know, where's all that? Where's the money gone? We have found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud so far, and we've just started. We're actually going to Fort Knox to see if the gold is there, because maybe somebody stole the gold. Tons of gold. So I think it was actually, there was a lot of genius in sending it. We're trying to find out if people are working. And so we're sending a letter to people. Please tell us what you did last week.
Imagine, if you will, you're at work, wherever you work, wherever you've ever worked in your life, and your boss sends you an email and says, hey, how are things going? Can you let me know 5 things that you've done, you know, over the past week or so? I don't think many of you would have any hesitation. It would probably be the easiest email you've ever written. Oh, how you doing, Mr. Wilson? I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. Nice to hear from you. Hope everything is going okay. Now, imagine you get that email. And this is where it gets really funny. Imagine you get that email. Actually, imagine you get any email that has been directed or from the President of the United States. You see, if I got an email from anybody having to do with the President of the United States, it would be answered forthwith, very quickly, without any hesitation whatsoever. What in the hell has happened to our population that you get an email that everybody now knows is a product coming from the president? It's not signed President, it's not signed White House, but with all the news right now, you know it's coming from the president. The President of the United States is saying, hey Barry, how are you? What did you do the last 5 days? Oh, hey, Mr. Trump, Mr. Musk, here's what I've done. I made like 10 videos. I talked about you for, 20, 25 hours. I answered emails from subscribers and people who had questions. I talked to sponsors. It wouldn't take me any time to answer that email. And I would venture to say it wouldn't take you any time to answer that email. Nor would I feel offended that he asked me, hey Barry, what are you doing? And I can say that with 100% certainty because, as you know, they've opened up the seat to have somebody in the new media come to the press conference. And I diligently, every morning and every evening, check my email to see if I got anything from Caroline Leavitt or the White House. So imagine if Caroline Leavitt emails me and says, hey Barry, thanks for your application. I understand you'd like to come sit in and be a part of our press conference. Can you give me an idea of how many subscribers you are? Tell me about your channel and maybe give me 5 bullet points of what you'd like to ask the president. How long do you think it would take me to put that together and hit reply? Well, I can tell you probably about 5 minutes because I already got it all written out. I'm already anticipating that letter. If I got to defend myself and prove that I'm worthy, I already got it written out. It's a cut and paste job. Shoot, boom, bam. It's that simple. So why is it that so many people, the employees, the union, the media, why do so many people have such a huge problem with explaining, what did you do last week? What is it you do here? If you're done really well, you definitely want people, Just think about that. You've done really well. And the president, somebody who's opening this email has the ear of the president of the United States. Oh, I'd be looking like Jim Carrey in that gif. I'd be wanting to tell President Trump all about my fantastic week, and the opportunity to work for the United States government is just a dream of mine. But then you have to sit back and, after you've seen what's gone on this week, and just wonder, what the hell is going on? Why are people freaking out? It doesn't make any sense until it does make sense. And it makes sense because it's obvious, once again, we've hit on a hot button. Once again, we're going to find out that there are millions of fake employees, that there are millions of fake checks going out every 2 weeks. They're all supposedly working from home, but there's nothing being defined as work. And you've seen the videos on social media. They're freaking out. It took you longer to post a TikTok video than it would have been to answer the damn email. Boom. I cannot believe they're asking me to do this. It's horrible. Oh my God, what am I going to do? But how about you just put the phone down, turn off TikTok, and answer the doggone email? Why is it driving people to a manic state? You know, I'm not a cop. I've known a lot of cops. And what they would say is, I'm asking you a question in as much to see the answer as much to see your response, see how you're acting. So do you know anything about this theft at the Walmart? I don't know nothing about it. I don't know. Oh, you're giving yourself away. No, sir. I haven't even been in a Walmart. Versus, okay, hold on. I was there, but... And the cop's going to know something's not right. So right now, all of you got your badges on, and all of you are interrogating these people and going, they don't smell right. Something's wrong. Something is really, really wrong. And Trump is over the target in a big way. And the media, you're making it worse.
Elon Musk has zero legal authority to fire government employees or force their resignations. These people don't report to Elon Musk.
This nonsensical email from Elon Musk acting like we're in kindergarten.
It's like an own the libs, make you cry more sort of environment, right? Where both Trump and Musk are performing for the MAGA base.
The new Trump administration is reveling in its bad knuckle approach to government.
This is so sloppy with the way Elon Musk is handling this.
A former IRS employee right here in Houston, he was one of thousands of federal employees abruptly laid off this week.
And he said,
now, before we get to this gentleman who got laid off, why does the media have anything to say about this? Why is the media running interference for all these people who may get, let's see here, we are little under 3 hours and, 45 minutes from D time. Tick-tock, tick-tick-tick-tickety-tock-tock-tock, tick-tock. You got three and a half hours, basically, to get that email in. And you've known about it for quite some time. And you're lamenting, and you're doing kvetching and all kinds of stuff because you're worried about getting this email back. It's not a hard email. A grade school kid could fill out this email, but you can't. For some reason, you can't. Now, what Jen Psaki said doesn't make any sense. Well, Elon has no authority to fire anybody. I don't think Elon said he was the one firing anybody. The email said you could be subject to termination. How did you infer that Elon was going to be the person firing the person, the employee? You're lying. That's why. You're lying once again to your audience. Here's the email. We'll wait for your response. If you got an email like that and you're working, hey, we're doing some different things and we need to confirm something. So if you want to keep your job, you might want to make sure you reply by, tonight at midnight or 11:59. That's a no-brainer. An absolutely no-brainer. And I'm not telling you probably anything you don't already know. The only part you don't know is, why would these people be having a problem with this? Gotta wonder.
Exclusively with Michelle Choi to share how he's feeling and his message to those in power.
As he waits for an official termination letter to arrive at his front door, Jason Charles shared the toll the last 48 hours has taken on him.
I can't believe this is happening, and it happened so fast. Like I said, I was just in training. I waited 4 months to go to training just to be fired.
He's one of 6,000 plus federal employees who work for the Internal Revenue Service fired this week as part of mass layoffs happening under the Trump administration. The majority of those workers, like Charles, were probationary workers employed for less than a year. Charles told us more than 24 employees were laid off from his office here off Gessner. He says it took over a year to get his dream job as a tax-exempt officer dealing with nonprofit organizations and compliance.
I was so excited to learn the job. I was telling my management I was going to be the best.
Is it me? Or have people completely turned into snowflake cupcakes? You're crying because you got fired. Now, I understand maybe he's got children at home. Maybe, his wife, it was his dream job. But I didn't see anybody going to Los Angeles. I didn't see anybody going to North Carolina. I didn't see anybody doing, hit pieces on people who, lost their jobs because of natural catastrophes. Didn't see it. At some point, wait a minute, even most recently as this morning, I heard that Hooters is going bankrupt and may close all their stores. So if Hooters close all their restaurants, there's going to be a lot of people without jobs. And I don't see anyone in the media rushing to Atlanta, I think that's where Hooters is, and telling corporate, you can't do this. You can't file bankruptcy. You need to keep this open because these people need their jobs. There aren't any other restaurants in the country. Yeah, I said that. So why is it that this is different? Because you're getting robbed.
They can count on me. And it's not like I have no say-so.
Push a little bit harder, dude. If you push a little bit harder, those tears will probably come out.
Like they just toss you away. And I thought corporate America was like this, not the government. I thought the government takes care of their people.
Did you hear what he just said? He goes, I could understand if this was corporate America. If it's just a job. I thought government took care of its people. You're an employee, bro. What do you mean take care of you? You made me want to reach inside the screen and just rip your head off when I heard your big, strong-ass man telling me that the government was going to take care of me. The government was going to take care of me. It wasn't like a corporate job. You actually went on television and said those words. It's not like a corporate job. This was government. I thought government was going to take care of me. That's the problem. These people don't look at it as jobs. The entirety, and I'm going to say not entirety, but a big, huge part of the workforce don't look at these things as jobs. It is entitlement. You're supposed to take care of me. It's no different than getting the welfare check twice a month or once a month, whatever you get it. It's no different. You don't have to, think about it. You don't have to go to the office, and you don't even want to tell people what you're doing. You just want the check. You just want that direct deposit and just keep it coming because you're supposed to take care of me. What am I going to do? In about 12 minutes, we're going to be talking to a man, a big old black man, bigger than me. I can't wait to ask him, how has daddy government taken care of you? Because that's embarrassing to me. Absolutely embarrassing.
As this message for the president.
Let us work. Let us do what they employed us to do, what we took our oath to do.
First, just tell us about this email and what it was like receiving it and what you all have talked about after getting it.
Okay. So this woman is somehow CNN found her. They brought her on television. She's obviously went and got her hair done and her makeup on because this is her big moment. She's going to be on television. She went through all of this with what you're about to hear instead of just answering the damn email. You had to set up the camera, fluff your hair, put on the lipstick, talk to Brianna here, and tell her, what were you feeling when you got the email. Come on, we're talking about adults, not kids. Come on. Yeah.
Sure. I got this email Saturday afternoon, about 3 p.m., and I felt absolutely infuriated.
Why? It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're on your phone, you're doing something, you got kicked up, and it says, hey, can you send me an email and just tell me what you've done last week? Oh my God, I'm infuriated.
Getting this email with a demand within 48 hours to provide a response on what I did within the last week or face termination. This is clearly an attempt from Elon Musk to harass and bully and intimidate the federal.
I may have been guilty in my life as a youngster of intimidating, and maybe some people would consider it bullying. I don't think anyone I ever talked to in a bad way would consider sending an email as bullying and intimidating. You got an email, an electronic communication, and you felt intimidated and bullied, is what she said. And Brianna didn't ask her, why? Why would you feel bullied and intimidated? Please, do tell us.
Workforce, which is part of his broader plan to gut the federal workforce and privatize public sector services to ensure that corporations like his own can get more profit.
She garnered all that from an email that says one paragraph. She thinks the fact that she got an email from HR that says, hey, can you just tell me what you've done last week, is a complete business plan for Elon Musk. She solved that. Amazing. You were able to determine that the source of this email was because somebody had an idea on how to make more money. Not my words. That was what she said. That obviously she may have been coached by CNN, but nonetheless, that's what she said on national television.
And that makes me really angry, and my coworkers as well.
Oh, I got an email from Elon Musk, which you didn't know at the time. Let's just be honest. You didn't know it was Elon Musk. It just said HR. And then the news came out and said, hey, Elon's out here sending emails to people and telling them if you don't fill this stuff out, you're going to get fired. Not realizing that whoever sent the email, well, I don't care if it was Big Balls, whoever hit send was doing so at the request of the President of the United States. So you were intimidated and felt bullied and chose not to answer something that you had the opportunity to get in front of the President of the United States. And instead, you went to CNN. Oh, that's just incredible. Well, in case you thought President Trump was backing down, nope. If you don't answer, you're fired. Trump stands behind Musk Doge productivity email, and that was at 5:25 p.m. And of course, the lib nuts say stuff like this. Government positions and departments are supposed to be confirmed by Congress to be constitutional. Neither Elon Musk nor the Department of Government Efficiency were confirmed, raising serious legal and constitutional questions. Who else is concerned? The big assumption there being that Doge would be firing you. They don't even get it. Here's an outside consultant that's facilitating things for HR. The email didn't say Doge. The email didn't say Elon. The email didn't say Big Boss. Email said HR. So as far as you know, and all you can interpret from this at this point, legally, is that the email came from HR. You can't even make the argument that it came from Elon Musk. You can't. That's going to get you in trouble. Because when it gets to the court system, which it's going to get, they're always going to sue. He's keeping them running around, let them chase their tails, and here they go again. But what you haven't discussed is the millions who just won't answer. And so, what the real reason why they're not answering is because Democrat politicians have told them, don't answer, because we need to cover the other grift. If they can't tell who's real and who's not, then you can't get fired. You think so? Because if I'm whoever, Elon, whoever right now, I don't need you to reply. The fact that you opened it puts you on an okay list for now. You see, none of these people would know that they got an email unless they opened the email. And so whoever didn't even open the email, those are going to be the primaries. Those are going to be the people who are going to be easy to take a look at. Okay, what do we got? You got a report? Give me the report on everybody who didn't even open the email. And that's going to be the starting point for all of this stuff. And then they'll find a whole lot of rats in that trap. A whole lot. Rick Scott, Senator Rick Scott from down here in Florida. Cutting waste, fraud, and abuse, or asking employees to share their accomplishments shouldn't be controversial. I'm struggling to find out how you can consider it to be controversial to even ask an employee. Remember, they are employees. They work for you. You pay their salaries. And they're saying, basically with the middle finger, we don't got to do nothing. Just take care of me, cash my checks. So I see that Zeek is in the waiting room, so let me run this from Lear Capital, and I'll be right back. As you know, President Trump has assembled the Avengers to make America great again. And of course, we're all excited and ready to see them get to work. But with everything we're seeing right now, don't take your eye off the ball. Things could get much worse before they get better. With the possibility of World War III still looming, and with the Democrats doing everything they can to impede Trump, you still need to keep your guard up and your money protected. Oh, and our national debt is still massively increasing. Don't get me wrong, I have high hopes for Trump's America, but I also have a family to look out for. You see, Trump and the Avengers have quite the uphill battle ahead. That's why I'm making sure I'm protected, and I'm recommending that you do the same. One way to be protected is by diversifying your portfolio. That's why on this channel I've been happy to partner with Lear Capital. As you know, I've been involved in real estate for quite some time. And although I dabbled in gold and silver, Kevin and his staff at Lear have helped to educate me even further, especially in regards to silver. Give Lear a call today and they'll show you how easy it is to move some of your savings or your retirement account into gold and silver. Gold and silver have been proven to hold value and protect wealth for the long term. Call Lear today at 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com to get your free gold and silver wealth protection guides. There's no obligation, just free information. Many of you have seen my interviews with Lear founder Kevin Demerit, and I can tell you this company is solid and likes to educate their customers. Just so you know, Lear has over 27 years of experience, thousands of 5-star reviews and over $3 billion in trusted transactions, and is the only company with a 24-hour risk-free purchase. You don't pay unless you're 100% satisfied. So call 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. And when you call, don't forget to ask how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold or silver with a qualifying purchase. So if you'd like to take advantage of this opportunity, please call my friends at Lear Capital at 800-601-5430 and tell them Barry sent you. All right, everybody, we've got Zeek Arkham queued up for a quick interview. Let me introduce you to Zeek if you guys aren't aware of who he is. This is his handle, Zeek Arkham, Z-E-E-K Arkham, the notorious CWA. His pronouns are bruh and brother. Social media flamethrower, professional roaster, conservatarian, back the blue, all lives matter. With that being said, welcome, Zeek. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Thanks for having me on.
All right, brother. I've got your sound in and everything. So before we begin, tell us a little bit about yourself and what is the notorious CWA? I'd love to know what that means.
CWA, cop with attitude. That means I tell it how it is. If you get butthurt easily, I can't help that. The truth is never easy. The truth sometimes hurts. So I always say I'm a professional an internet flamethrower, which means that I will roast you if you say something dumb to me. I'll tell you how it is. I'll shoot it straight with you. And, hurt. And as my grandmother used to say, no one ever died from hurt feelings. So I get out there, I say what I got to say.
So are you or were you a police officer?
I have 18 years of law enforcement experience, yes.
Okay. Are you still currently in serving?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Where? Are you not allowed to say?
I am not allowed to say.
Okay. I understand. So this is going to be a quite unconventional interview with you because it's very seldom that I get to talk to other people of color, if you know what I mean. So I just wondered, how long have you been black? I say that because I've also often talked to my family and friends and some former friends, and when they found out I was a conservative, it kind of began to shun me. So I'm wondering what you've gone through, and have you, I guess put it this way, when did you become a Republican?
I'm actually not a Republican. I'm a registered independent. But, if we're going to be honest, I don't see myself ever voting Democrat ever again.
Right.
It would have to be the unicorn of Democrats who poops rainbows and says all the right things and does all the right things. I'm in New York, and there is a Democrat in New York who really is a Republican, but he's a Democrat. He would be, I guess, their version of a rhino. I guess he's a dino, Democrat in name only.
Right.
But I don't see myself ever voting Democrat ever again. As far as my family goes, honestly, I have some family who don't talk to me anymore just because they are shackled to the Democrat plantation. And I've got my father's whole side of the family. Most of them are criminals and perps anyway, so I can't really talk to them. Being law enforcement, I can't hang out with felons, and that's how I usually get out of the Thanksgiving dinners and the Christmas roast at their house. Hey, listen, cousin Andre or Susan, they got some felonies. I can't do it. So that's how I get out of that. But for the most part, most of my family understands once I start talking to them, once they have that ear to listen, they kind of get on my side. My mom was a lifelong Democrat, and after I started asking her some tough questions, she's now, she's not fully on the Trump train. She still listens to a lot of the news and still listens to a lot of propaganda. But once I calm her down a little bit, she's back on. So for the most part, my family's been really cool about it. I got brothers who, they're still shackled to the Democrat plantation, and we just kind of agree to disagree on it. That's all.
What was it that got you unshackled?
It was a bunch of things. When I got into law enforcement, I was actually against cops. I didn't really think cops were trustworthy. and I got in and I was going to blow the entire system up from the inside out. But once I started talking to cops and started seeing that they're human beings, that was one red pill moment. I had a couple other red pill moments where once you're confronted with the truth, you're confronted with what really happens. Unless you're deaf, dumb, and blind, or just willingly ignorant, you can't. You have to accept the truth about what goes on. So I started just doing research. I started just looking into everything. I started looking into statistics. I started looking into facts. I did my own research, is what I tell everybody to do, and I red pilled myself. I was all set to be like, aha, here's the truth. The Democrats, the liberals, the leftists, here's the truth. But I wound up red pilling myself. And when you're confronted with facts, you can either run away from it or you can accept it. And I chose to accept it.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically been the same with me as well. I grew up up north as well. I grew up in Connecticut, and I was surrounded by Democrats. And all of a sudden, I was the kind of weird kid. I was listening to rock music. I went to a prep school, and my exposure allowed me to see some things that my family and some of my friends couldn't see. And then, of course, when I got to college, and then coming out of college and everything, the older you get, it just seems like the more you begin doing your own research and understanding what's going on. So you just went to, number one, how did you get invited? Because I'm jealous. I'm extremely jealous. How did you get invited to the Black History Month celebration at the White House, and how was that?
I got a random DM from a friend that just said, hey, listen, I'm getting some names, some emails for the White House Black History Month event. Give me your email address. So I sent it, and I said, I don't know what's going to happen. And I got excited about it at first. I was like, hey, the White House, I've never been there. I got plans, I got to tell work, I got to take a couple days off. And then it was supposed to be that Wednesday. I saw people posting their invitations. It was supposed to be that Wednesday. It was Monday night, and I still hadn't gotten anything. So, I'm in my feelings now. I'm like, I don't think I'm going. They're not going to invite me to the White House, And my wife asked me to take a picture of something and email it to her. And I did, and I saw I had a new email in my inbox. So I opened it up, take a look at it, and lo and behold, there it is, my invitation. So now I'm freaking out. So now I'm like, babe, look, I'm going to the White House. I don't know what to do. So my wife and I kind of trade off each other. When she's freaking out, I calm her down. The very rare moments when I freak out, she calms me down, and that was a rare freak out moment. So she had me packed, she had me ready, and that was basically how it went.
And how, did you get to meet President Trump?
I did not. They kicked us out right after he spoke. They said, hey, listen, y'all ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. Which, I mean, listen, the White House is on a tight schedule. There was a lot going on that day. There was a Kash Patel confirmation. I'm sure President Trump had a lot of things he had to get to. But I got to network with a lot of people. I got to talk to a lot of people, shake some hands, take some pictures. I made, a bunch of new friends. So it was a great experience overall. Of course, I would have loved to meet Trump and shake his hand, but there were a couple hundred people there. I'm sure he can't shake everybody's hand, but I went there. I had a great time, and I'm working on next year's invitation.
What was security like? I mean, what did you have to submit to even get in?
Oh no, they run the background check. Being in law enforcement, I usually get notified when someone does a background check on me, and I got a couple notifications. But listen, it's the White House. They can't just let anybody in. They can't just let Bo Queen from the block, get into the White House and he's all hanging out, and starting a dice game in the corner. You can't have that happening. So, they ran me through about 3 checkpoints.
Wow.
And I've worked for Secret Service before. I've talked to a lot of them. I got 2 of them who are really good, close friends of mine. So they kind of prepped me ahead of time. They say, hey, listen, this is what you got going on. This is what's going to happen. And they were very professional. The guys I spoke to were total complete gentlemen. And if I ever get the chance to work with them again, I'll shake their hands and say, hey, listen, you made me feel safe and welcome at the White House, which I guess, you have to because it's the White House. Like I said, you can't have, random dudes just wandering into the White House and hanging out. So I get it and I'm with it. So keep doing your thing.
What was the vibe like? I mean, I saw Sage Steele was there, and Terrence Williams, and David Harris, and some of the people that we see all over X. Did you get to meet those people and interact with them at all?
Yeah, I actually saw Sage Steele, and I wanted to get a picture with her, but she was off to the races, so I couldn't get a picture with her immediately. I saw Kim Klacik, who I've admired for a while now. I saw Alveda King. I got a picture with her, and Alveda King is actually one of the people. I saw one of her speeches, and she was someone who was instrumental in sort of red pilling me as well. So just to have that moment with her and to speak to her and just shake her hand, I was immensely honored to do so. It was a quick event. It was something where you get there, you take some pictures, you shake some hands with people, you get some food if you can. I actually didn't get any food because I thought I'd be able to get some food afterwards. I did let them know though, this is the Black History Month celebration. How you gonna kick black folk out and lock up the food? But I had a great time. And it was just a great opportunity. I was on top of the world. I'm still on top of the world. I'm still I was in the White House with a bunch of patriots. For me, it was more just hanging out with patriots. It wasn't so much about Black History Month. It was just I got to hang out with some patriots. I got to shake some hands. These are people that I've only met online, and I got to see them in real life.
Yeah.
C.J. Pearson.
Oh yeah.
Xavier DeRusso. Just guys I'm friends with online, I talk to online, and I quote unquote hang out with them online. But to see them in real life was just I was just happy to be there. And there's a bunch of people who literally saved America because all of our voices got together and just we tried to spread the truth as much as we could. And it was just just to hang out with patriots and just see Trump in person was a great feeling.
So what do you do? And I know you're doing a podcast, but what are you going to do moving forward to try and enlarge the tent, enlarge the MAGA tent, get more black people in? I mean, you're probably doing the same thing I am, trying to talk and get the word out there. But how do, and I'm talking to you directly to me, how do we get a hold of more people and shake the ever-living crap out of them and go, wake up? Because it's very hard.
You have to wake up the ones who want to be woken up. Harriet Tubman always said that she couldn't free everybody. There were some people who were just more comfortable being slaves. And there are people online. We had this event at the White House with a bunch of black folk for Black History Month where, I think the overwhelming consensus from all of us is that, we're just here to just hang out and be patriotic and really just, just show Trump our support. And from the people who don't want to be woken up, it was the coons are all gathered at the White House. The uncle and Auntie Toms are all hanging out at the White House. But there were people who were like, that was cool. And I've said before, Trump didn't do this. He's not running for re-election.
Right.
He's not. It cost him nothing. I mean. It cost something. They fed us. They opened up the White House, but it cost him personally nothing. He could have canceled it, and there would have been nothing anyone could do. But Trump had us all there at the White House to say, listen, I'm still here for you. I still got your back. He's got the Garden of Heroes, which he's filling with nothing but black folk. And he's doing this because he wants to. People need to understand Trump is doing all this because he wants to. So for the people that I'm out there talking to, for the people who are receptive to the message, for the people out there who aren't so blinded by the color of their skin that they can look and say, you know what, this makes sense to me logically, and this makes sense to me factually, and this makes sense to me historically, so let me continue to listen. For those people, I'm down to wake them up, I'm down to talk to them, I'm down to debate them. My podcast right now is suspended because I just flat out just don't have time for it. But once I get it back up and running, listen, bro, it's running a podcast that's a job, So, I for the people that want to listen, for the people who just have that ear to listen, as they say in church, to have that ear to listen, I'm here for them. I'm here to talk to them. I'm even expanding. I just opened up my TikTok account.
Okay.
So I'm over on a new platform now, talking to people. Right now I'm just on. Before I was just on Instagram and X. Now I'm expanding to TikTok, and I'm having a whole new audience there. So we have to keep talking. We have to keep spreading the word, even when it feels like you're just talking into the void and you're talking in the darkness. Someone is hearing your voice. I have someone I used to work with who I consider a little sister, and I love telling this story because she says I motivated her, but from her telling me this, she motivated me so much. I have someone I've always seen as a little sister. I've always admired her. I always thought that she was just a wonderful, special person.
Mm-hmm.
And she came up to me at a Blexa event one time and said, "I never told you this, but your words helped me to see things differently." And I'm not a crier, dude. But if I was a crier, I probably would have boo-hooed right there in front of her, just because her and I got to meet her husband. Husband's a great guy. I had him here a year or two ago for a barbecue of mine, a birthday barbecue. But to have someone so close to me say that my words changed her mind and thought, made her think differently, was just so special. And she motivated me to just keep talking and to keep spreading the message.
When I get those kind of emails, I always share them with my wife and go, "Look, it's working. We're getting the word out. People are listening, and I absolutely love it." I got a couple of your tweets. Actually, there's 3 tweets. I saw you had posted a picture with John Amanchaku. Love him. That guy is so powerful. Especially, 2 things. One, what he's doing for kids, and then his pastoral endeavors as well. But you got 2 tweets here I want to talk to you about. I'm going to put them on the screen so you should be able to see them here so everybody else can see them. And it says, "You can just feel the panic in D.C. right now, and it's amazing. This is what we needed. I want arrest, I want perp walks, I want tribunals, I want full investigations, and I want the man they tried to assassinate twice, impeach twice, change the legal system in order to charge and convict him multiple times, and ruin to be the one to bring them all down." From a law enforcement perspective, do you think that is something we are actually going to see, or are these people indeed untouchable?
If we don't see it, that means the swamp is entirely too deep. The system is way too corrupt, and that's a bigger problem than anything else.
Yeah.
Because, you have open corruption. How do you have elected officials who have a $200,000 salary who are multimillionaires? Millionaires hundreds of times over. Nancy Pelosi, a millionaire hundreds of times over. Elizabeth Warren, a millionaire hundreds of times over. Dan Crenshaw, a millionaire. I don't know how, maybe 100, maybe tens of times over. How do you have these people who, on a $200,000 salary, are millionaires? And they game the system in order to make themselves rich.
Right.
If I was I can't think of her name right now, Martha Stewart. If I was Martha Stewart, I'd be cussing.
Yeah.
Because Martha Stewart went to jail for that exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Nancy Pelosi, when asked about it, was just like, "Well, yeah, I do." So, and like I dare somebody come after me, But how do you have it? Bernie Sanders, who he can't wait to talk about how evil billionaires are because they're billionaires. God forbid. This dude's got 3 houses. I don't know anyone with 3 houses, and I live in a pretty established area here on Long Island. I don't know anyone who's got 3 houses. And of course, Bernie Sanders. Oh well, the people here in New Hampshire, they have a vacation house, but I have my house in D.C. Yeah, well, Bernie, give it up.
Yeah.
That's socialism, right? Socialism means you can't have excess. So, and listen, that vacation house has got to go, dude. You got to give that to somebody. And, oh, well, he wrote books. Yeah, we all know. Yeah, he wrote books. That's the biggest money laundering scheme ever. And even if he did write books, guess what? Due to the laws of socialism, you got to give that up because that's excess, right? So
Absolutely.
Give it up, Bernie. So,
Absolutely.
you have these people who are openly corrupt. And if there aren't perp walks and there aren't tribunals and there aren't arrests going on, then that means our government is so deeply corrupt that's its own problem. That someone like Donald Trump, like Kash Patel, like Dan Bongino, like everybody else that Trump has assembled, that means that they're too powerful for even that. So that means we just need to address that.
Your other tweet that, well, actually, this was a tweet you were included, but you reposted it, is this one. It says, John Moakley, let's see, who's John? John Moakley must be a police officer as well. And he's like, I'd like to have a sit down with you, Elon Musk, along with AG Pam Bondi, Director Cash, Secretary Duffy, and go over a plan that's been in my head for years. And if you'd allow Zeek Arkham as well. Are you open to like joining the DOJ or FBI?
Listen, if they call me tomorrow, I'm packing my bags. We're selling the house. I'm telling the wife, hey, listen, listen, let's start getting ready. If they call me tomorrow, I'd be honored to go and serve. Just because this is what you need. You need real patriotic Americans who, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to say it, have a chip on their shoulder for the open corruption, for just the waste that's been going on over the past 4 years. This is what we need. We need real Americans who want this country to return to something great, to be on these task force, to volunteer to kick some doors down, to volunteer to, not volunteer, but to get to work and get their hands dirty and roll their sleeves up and just say, hey, listen, just you tell me who you want me to bring in and I'm going to do it. Like I said, if Trump, who they did everything to, isn't strong enough to bring this down, then that means the corruption in our government is worse than we thought. And that needs to be addressed heavily.
I love the fact that you'd be willing to go ahead and join. I mean, we just saw Dan Bongino get named the deputy director of the FBI. And I was telling people this morning, and you can understand it because you've been into podcasting, the fact that this guy left it all, I got to go answer the call. I got to do this for my patriotic duty for this president because we may not have another chance. This may be it. And so, and Dan is strong enough to know, and I know, and you know, that if they get their way, we're not going to be podcasting anyway. So we might as well go all in and try to get this thing, taken care of. I'm too old, but I hope you actually can definitely get in there and kick some butt, so maybe reach out to Dan or somebody, but man, I love the fact that you're willing to get in there and do it.
Well, I'll tell you what, the people in this country don't know how close we were to Russian-style, a waiving of the First Amendment, just a complete destruction of the First Amendment, a complete destruction of the Second Amendment, a complete destruction of the Fourth Amendment. People don't know how we were an election away from that.
Right.
Because if Kamala Harris had won, God forbid, if she had won, this country would be radically different right now. I mean, just look at what they're uncovering just with Doge. Just the fact that you have these employees who were staying home and collecting a paycheck. Just to waste with that. These employees that can't answer, what did you do last week? I have to account for what I'm doing every day at work. You have employees that you're asking them to say, what did you do last week? How did you justify your existence? And they're acting like this is the worst thing possible. They're acting like my daughter just about 20 minutes ago when we told her you got to turn the TV off and take a shower and start getting ready for bed. And she's at the kitchen table going, oh, no, this is so unfair. This is what they're acting like. So, we were an election away from this country, I hate to say it, but this country not being the United States anymore. And that's a scary, scary proposition. When you talk to liberals, when you talk to Democrats who are upset about what Trump is doing, they're imagining things. Oh, God, look at what he did. This is so horrible. It's unconstitutional. Well, how was it unconstitutional? I can't get into it. Meanwhile, you had Kamala Harris, who was openly calling for destroying supermarkets that make like a 3% profit off of everything they have. She was openly calling for trying to destroy supermarkets, to get herself involved in pricing with supermarkets. She was openly calling for trying to limit the First Amendment in regards to information on the internet. She was going after Elon Musk and Twitter and what he allows on, X, and what he allows on it. She was going after private citizens for daring to speak out against her. We saw everything that happened that Mark Zuckerberg was saying as far as what they did with his with Facebook, his social media platform. You saw everything that was going on. You have all these testimonials, and if Kamala Harris, again, God forbid, had been elected president of this country, we would be in some serious trouble right now. A month out, a week out, we would be in serious trouble because there's no telling what she would have started going after. No, excuse me, not her. The committee that was telling Joe Biden what to do and would have told her what to do, because we all know she would not have been in power.
No.
So this country was an election away from complete Russian-style CCCP type things that were going on. I'm talking like stuff that Joseph Stalin would see and would be like, I thought that was bad. That is bad. So I'm glad that this country got together. I'm glad this country issued a mandate about how they want to go forward. And I'm glad that Trump is our president.
Last question. And it might be kind of difficult, but what is it that beyond conversation, or is it just conversation? How do we educate? And I know there's white people who are watching right now as well, but we've always talked about that sliver. And I remember talking a year or so back, I go, if Trump gets 18, 19%, it's over. How do we get that 19 to 20 to turn into 30 and 35? Because I think it's there for the taking. And now it's just a matter of for people to be taught what to look for, what's in your pocket, what's not in your pocket. Do you think this Doge thing could be part of something that convinces a lot more people? I know the illegal, the newcomers that came in the country, that ticked off a lot of people. What is it that you think is going to be the best message moving forward to increase MAGA in the minority communities?
Just keep talking. Keep talking. Keep putting the message out there. Keep hitting it home. Keep hammering it. You've got, like I said, you've got the people who are shackled to the plantation who are going to keep saying, he's wrong. They're going to come out with their names. He's a coon. He's an Uncle Tom. They called me something new the other day. I was like, oh, that's new. I haven't heard that one before. But, just keep talking. Keep putting the message out there. Don't shut up. Don't let anyone shut you up. Don't get discouraged. Because, like I said, you never know who your message is getting to.
Yes.
Like I said, there's this young lady who I would have never thought. I knew she followed me on Instagram, but I would have never thought that my message was getting out there like that.
Yeah.
And when she pulled me aside, it's that's something I think about every time I'm thinking, to myself, I'm not getting as much engagement as I was before. Not as many people recognize what I'm doing. So maybe, am I talking? Am I making a difference? Am I making an impact? But when I start to ask myself those questions, I think I'm reaching someone.
Yeah.
There's someone out there that's hearing my voice, that's looking at my tweets, my X's, however you want to say it, that's watching my videos on Instagram and saying, you know what he's saying is making sense. And it's not just my voice out there. Like I said at the White House, there's hundreds of us out there who are minorities who are spreading the same message.
Right.
And my message is always, hey, listen, my message is for everyone. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, everyone. Because everyone can see themselves in someone like me. Mm-hmm. Born and raised in Jamaica, Queens. Lived in a one-bedroom apartment where the heat went out, and there were times I had to sleep with my coat on. A high crime area. You had to make it from the subway to your apartment building in one piece. I grew up in all that. And if someone like me can grow up in that kind of environment and make his way to go visit the White House for Black History Month,
wow,
then keep putting your message out there, keep grinding, keep pushing forward, and you can do it because guess what? We live in the greatest country on earth, and I fully believe that.
Well, Zeke, thank you very much for taking the time to talk tonight. Congratulations on your White House visit. I'm jealous. and as a law enforcement officer, what I definitely want to say is God bless you, and please stay safe out there, because I know it's a crazy, crazy time right now. So everybody, if you want to follow...
Thank you so
much. No problem. Thank you. If you guys want to follow Zeke, let me go ahead and bring up his handle again. Let him know what you guys thought. This is Zeke's handle, Zeek Arkham, at Zeek Arkham. If you guys go ahead and check it out. Good guy. Obviously, he's trying to get the word out. I keep telling you, I keep saying it over and over and over. The key to enlarging this tent is you. Not President Trump, not Elon Musk, it's you. At the ground level, getting the message out there, letting everybody know what's coming up and what you can do to help build a stronger and more, I hate I'm saying this, diverse MAGA tent, because we're going to need to enlarge it. They're going to come hard in 2026. And historically, the midterms go against the president in power. So you're going to need to do it all over again. We did it in 2024. We're going to have to do it again in 2026. All right, I'll be right back. Hey, if you'd like to join 15,000 plus fellow patriots on X in our private X/Twitter group, go to fanfareshop.org/group. Just put in that URL in your browser. It'll take you right to our private group on X. Love to see you there. Let's share some content. And if you'd like to win a hoodie, or rather if you'd like to enter to win a hoodie, go to fanfareshop.org, fanfareshop.org, and register to win a Trump hoodie.
Welcome back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
All right, we're going to be giving out some hoodies tonight as we go forward, but let me talk to you right now about Patriot Addict, which you guys have been loving. I know this site had some problems earlier, but it should be fixed if you want to go in there. Patriot Addict is giving away Trump's second term gold bars absolutely free, no hidden fees, no subscriptions, just cover shipping. If you support Trump, this is a no-brainer. Scan the QR code right over here on the screen to claim yours right now. Each bar is 24 karat gold-plated. Doesn't mean full, 24 karat gold-plated. A collector's must-have and a symbol of Trump's America. Whether you keep it, gift it, or add it to your collection, this is something every patriot should own. But don't wait. They are moving fast, and when they're gone for good. Scan the QR code now, this QR code right here, and claim your free Trump second term gold bar while you still can. All right, so let me continue. Well, before I continue, let me go ahead and take some of your comments, because I couldn't take them during the interview. It's kind of hard sometimes when we're talking to people. I want a hoodie. What do we got here? If 1 million patriots turn only one Democrat, it turns into 2 million. Absolutely, that's how you can look at it. You don't got to have a complete congregation. If you can just turn a couple people, and I'm telling you it works, because I get so many emails from people. Excuse me, I spoke to this person, I spoke to that person, and you can pretty much help build it just as you do it that way. I really admire Zeke's confidence. He seems like an amazing individual. I'm so jelly. He got to go to the White House, so I got to get there. Caroline, if you're watching, somebody can forward this to her. I need to be in the press conference. And I won't wear my hat. I'll have a suit and tie on. Just get me up there. As an aerospace engineer, I had to do a weekly progress report on projects I worked on. Time card noted every half hour for 38 years. I worked, want to hear something funny? I worked, back when I was in college, I worked security. Sometimes it was in a club or some kind of setting, and also I would do private security at, like, shopping malls. And I don't know if you guys know this, but once in a while, if you're at a shopping mall, you see the guy driving around in a golf cart. And he gets off the cart, and he has to go up, and it looks like he's hitting the building. Well, what he's doing is he's letting people know, I checked this quadrant. That's the only way people would know, is if, hey, listen, did you check this part? Did you check this part? And at that point, you have to take a badge and swipe it and say, yeah, I've been to the northwest quadrant. And you drive around, check out the parking lot, and you get to the next quadrant. Everybody signs it. Everybody has to do things to show what you've been doing. Otherwise, you're not an employee. You're basically getting welfare. Let's call it as it is. It's welfare if you don't have to show any sort of accountability. It's insane. I mean, I cannot believe people are complaining about this. I didn't say it to Zeke, but I'm pretty sure this is one of those things where you will lose a lot of black votes. You will lose a lot of Hispanic and white people. Everybody works or has worked. Everybody knows you have to have some degree of accountability. What happens if you don't show up for work? Oh, they're going to call you. Okay, you sick? Yeah, well, you could have called and told us. You guys know the term if you've been in HR. NCNS. No call, no show. It's noted. Hey, listen, you didn't even call in and you didn't show up. It just seems like the government's this big foreign planet where people can do whatever they want with your money. And you can't even ask them. That's the part that gets me. Don't ask me. Don't ask me no questions. What? What do you mean? I'm paying you. Don't ask me where I've been. It just makes me mad. It makes me just completely insane. I don't know any other job where you could go in, get a job, not show up, and then get mad when you're asked to tell me what you did. I don't get it. Liza says, for my last 2 jobs, I had to record my task in 15-minute increments. I know in some law firms, you log in, and you have to even log in and say, I sent a fax to Barry, and click a button. I spent this much time in 15-minute increments on Barry's file, so that the people in accounting can know what to bill. Okay, they spent 6.2 hours this month working on Barry stuff, and our billable hours are this much. Not with the government. Don't even ask. And we'll sue you, because that's the next thing they're going to do. They're going to run in and they will sue, no doubt. If you believe in polls. Another one came out that said Doge is one of the most popular parts of President Trump's agenda, undertaking a full-scale effort to find and eliminate fraud and wasting government expenditures. 76% of people support Doge. In order for it to be at 76, again, that means a whole lot of Democrats. Yeah, we're all about this. You know why? Because we all do it. There is nobody sitting home other than the media who's saying, you know what? I don't think you should have to have any accountability. And everybody's like, what? What do you mean? Everybody has accountability. Peter St. Ange, who we have on the show, I'm not sure if it's next week or this week, says the more media attacks Doge, the more popular it gets. 70% of Americans now want Elon to have influence over government operations and spending, while 80% of swing voters now support Doge. Democrats, you're spitting into the wind. You don't get it. 80% of swing voters are like, yeah, keep doing that. Find that money. I can't wait to talk to Peter about that. I like what he says here. Congress needs to get with it or they'll be out of a job. Well, let me talk to you a little bit about Congress at this point. Because the problem with Congress is same thing with the media. They've completely lost touch. There's no place for them to go. If you're seeing numbers like 70 and 80%, as a politician, you have to believe at this point, we screwed up. But they just keep doing the same damn thing. It's almost like the definition of insanity. You're doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. The Democrats are not changing. I keep saying that, and I keep finding more and more information. But now, at least, there are some people kind of side-eye going, this ain't working. This is not working. What are we going to do? Listen to this. Oops, hold on. That was...
Federal workers facing a midnight deadline tonight from Doge to document their work in an email or potentially lose their jobs. Elon Musk taking to X on Saturday, posting, consistent with President Trump's instructions, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. South Carolina Congressman Ralph Norman.
Okay, so what I wanted you to take a look at is, let me just rewind that a second. Okay. The date of that email is February 22nd, 2025. Today is the 24th. So you've had 48 hours to respond. But instead you're running to the media. You're complaining to the media. I can't believe Trump's making me do this. When everybody who's got a thinking frontal lobe, something that functions, is like, man, this would literally take you 10 minutes. Excuse me, 10 minutes. Unless, of course, you're not working. You're letting Donald Trump, Elon Musk, all the people look at and go, yeah, we can see it. Now we know you people are full of it. Now we know you were fraudulent. Like I said earlier, now we know if you didn't even open your email, you're in even a different crowd at this point. You're in list A. You didn't even bother to open the email. Now, one of the things I'm also tracking, because I listen to everything Donald Trump says, is that they said earlier, okay, remember this, they said there were a whole bunch of dead people on Social Security. 4, 5, 9 million, even one person 360 years old, right? Right, okay. So, that means they have Social Security numbers, right? Right, follow me here. What has been one of the biggest things the Democrats have been complaining about? Doge having access to Social Security numbers. They got it. Which means if you're getting paid by the United States government, you have to have a Social Security number. Keep going. If you have a government computer or government file or any kind of system, it's been assigned to you, you being someone with a Social Security number. If I already know that that Social Security number is fake, then I already know that the person getting this email doesn't exist. You following this all the way through? When you sit back and think about it from a 30,000 foot perspective and look at what's happening, you can easily see they already know. The ones crying on television, I don't care about you. You're just an underperforming asset. You just don't do anything. We'll come to you. You're a bad employee, but at least you're an employee. You following this now? It's not about the people complaining. That's fine. I want to know how many people are on this payroll who don't exist. The fact that you complained on national television while I was sitting there at 3:30, I got this email. Okay, scratch off, Susie there. We know she got the email, she opened it. She just told us. We want to know the people who work for this company, the government, who supposedly are getting emails, but we already know if they have or haven't logged in. You again, asking questions and understanding the answer like an attorney. I issued you the computer, me being the government. I issued it. I don't even need to know if you opened the email. Those of you who aren't in IT, I don't need to have you open the email to find out you're fake. Those of you guys want to wager a guess as to why I don't need you to open the email? Because I'll know if you ever logged into the computer. Some of you guys right now going light bulbs going, oh crap. Yeah. In order to get into the government computer, you got to put in your password and your credentials to get to the email. The email is just not popping up on the screen. This ain't AOL. You got mail. No. This is a government device. Or if you're even accessing it on the web, you're accessing a government portal. I already know if your username and password have been used. If any of you called tech support before, been locked out of your computer, you ever get something from, I don't know, Google that says, your computer, somebody just logged in under your address and password. How would Google know that someone logged into my computer? How about if, you get a new computer and you get a new browser and it says, hey, Barry, just want to let you know somebody just logged in. And so you may want to check your credentials and make sure you change your password just in case. Hey, you got to give me that Google code and you got to do like 19 different things because they shut your crap down. You can't, you're sitting here on YouTube or Google, it's like, what do I got to do? Oh, check your messages. Oh, is it you? You've gotten those messages, haven't you? Is it you trying to log in? Yes, it's me. I forgot my password. I entered it 3 times by mistake. It's me. All right, use this security code. Go to Google settings. Go down here. Give us the code, and then we'll let you access your stuff. Very verbose way of telling you they already know. You got to take steps backwards. So I know if I'm in IT working with Elon, if I'm big balls, I've already run the algorithm. Tell me all the people who have not logged into their computer for the last 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. And now I got a report. These people ain't even ever logged in. The computer, who knows if it even exists. They got all that information. Those of you complaining aren't the target, idiots. He is playing on a level these people can't even comprehend. Those of you in IT are sitting back, fools. Yeah, those of you who have worked at IT already know. You're like, dude, they already know who's been on the computer. They already know what emails. They already know what you did with the email. They even know how long you were on the email. They already know if you scroll down the page. What you're seeing play out is a huge game of chicken that Trump and Elon and Big Balls and the boys are playing. Everyone's chasing their tail. The media's talking about it, and they're literally one keystroke away from all the information they need. Bam. And the algorithm's going to run out there and it's going to come back and it's going to fetch all the people. Hope you understand that. You're watching a large game being played on in epic proportions, and nobody in the media seems to be talking about it when you know every single one of those people have to do the same thing the government employees have to do. If you're on MSNBC, you just don't walk into the building, you gotta scan your badge. When you scan that badge, what the hell do you think happens? It gets logged somewhere. Then you go upstairs and you go to the elevator. Sometimes you need another scan to say that you made it to the 3rd floor. Oh, I forgot my badge. Okay, scan. All right. Now you're on the 3rd floor. Now you're at your desk. What do you got to do? You got to log in again. So I know now if I'm sitting AT, okay, so Sally came in at 8:25. She made it to the 3rd floor lobby at, 8:38. Then she went to her desk. I got you the whole way, boo-boo. I know everything you're doing. So you think you're, not doing things at home. The only difference is the people before didn't check. I already know what bank account your checks go to. Oh, that's right. I already did that with the Treasury Department, moron. I know where your checks are going. I know when you... Just follow the breadcrumbs. I only know the stuff that I know because I used to work with a guy who was in IT, and he used to tell me stuff, and I would like, so I might as well just put my password on the internet because it doesn't matter. We got no privacy. No, like, I want to go backdoor and I'll go backdoor. These guys know everything. They know who's gotten what and where they are and what they're doing. Again, go watch the show, Person of Interest, The Machine. Did you see what Elon said about AI? I'll save that for tomorrow because it's way deep. You guys can begin looking it up right now. We'll talk about it tomorrow. He said AI is about to reach a term called singularity. That's going to scare the bejeebus out of some of you when you find out what singularity actually means. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Tommy Lawrence, direct deposit. What's that say? Direct deposit is how it's done. Most times, someone is definitely spending money of dead people. I like to make the 350-year-old getting Social Security payments. See, that's just not Social Security. That person is in a system maybe 2 or 3 times. See, people haven't thought about that. That 360-year-old person, it's dead. So there's no person associated with those 220-year-old people. And since Wally the Nigerian was told to pay everything, that same Social Security number that's getting fake Social Security checks could be getting payroll checks. Light bulbs going off yet? Because you're like, wait a second. Yeah, if nobody's checking, I can use the same Social Security number to get what I want. I know that this Social Security number is for a dead person. I directed it to my direct deposit. So I'm getting Social Security checks once a month or whatever, and I could be getting a payroll check. Let that sink in. If the average job is $100,000, then it's right about $9,000 a month. $7,000, $8,000. So I'm getting $8,000 a month payroll, and I'm getting Social Security, and I don't have to go to the office, and I don't even have to report what I'm doing. That's a job we'd all love. You just check. Did that deposit hit yet? I'm expecting about 12 grand this month, and I ain't seen it. Okay, here it is. It showed up. Because after a couple years, now you just expect it. You're not even looking. Now they all know, oh man, someone's looking. This Elon guy. This Elon guy. He keeps looking. Oh, I didn't even think about this. Social Security, payroll, food stamps, Medicaid. It's scary when you start thinking about it. When you start thinking like, oh my goodness, did they really do all this? You could. And and now that, when you catch your child doing something wrong, they'll say anything. Oh, I didn't do it. It was broke already. And the cat ran by, and the cat and the dog were playing, and they knocked it. It's too late. Especially these days. Mom's got the security camera. And Robin wants to get one to see what these 2 dogs do when we're not home. Because they play a certain way when they're here, and then, run through the house. Elon put this out at 7 o'clock tonight. First, Matt Walsh said, fire any federal worker who didn't answer the email. Fire any who complained publicly. Fire any who complained privately. Fire any who did anything but cheerily and promptly answer it. And then George said, I'm a little confused. Why did some agencies tell employees that responding was unnecessary or voluntary? I'll get into that in a second. And Elon said, subject to the discretion of the president, they will be given another chance. Failure to respond a second time will result in termination. That's the drop dead notice. That's the dead man switch. They know with all of the publicity at this point, if you're not answering, you're a thief. So George's question was, why would some people say don't do it? Because the ones who have said you don't have to do it are pretty much cabinet situations that we already control. State Department said you don't have to do it. That's Marco Rubio. He already knows. His team has probably already went through it. And so they know. So the departments that already have people looking, they're like, hey, don't worry about it. We already got you. We already know what y'all did. It's for the rest of these idiots. And it's beginning to fall short with a lot of people in business. This is Jamie Dimon. I believe Jamie is Chase Bank. Jamie Dimon calls U.S. government inefficient and says Elon Musk's Doge effort needs to be done. Thank you, Jamie Dimon. You see, people who run businesses, like I was talking to Zeek, there's going to be these moments, these seminal moments when people sit back and go, I can't justify this crap. Good people who may not even be Trump supporters are like, oh man, this doesn't make any sense. I've been punching the clock since I was 16. What do we do? And on and on and on. And so now you've had 48 hours, and they're giving you another day to make sure you respond. Lawsuits will be frivolous at this point. And in my estimation, seeing all the people talking about it, let's see here, Eric Doherty posted it too. This is what SB just sent me. Elon Musk says that subject to the discretion of the president, failure to respond a second time. Now they're toying with you like food. You're like a lion just tossing a little thing up in the air, just playing with my food at this point. There's nothing these people can do. Nothing. And certain people are definitely noticing. And it was also, as I mentioned in the earlier show, it was a trap. It was a trap door. And you would think at this point, the people who are adversarial to Donald Trump would understand, this dude, don't look at the task here. If you look here, you're already dead meat. If you're focusing here, you're never going to see the shot hit your head. If you're looking at this, you better be looking elsewhere, because something else is going on. This isn't it. This is the booby trap that allows you to be found, so that when you walk a little bit further, you hit the tripwire. That's the one you didn't see. You're like, oh, I found it. I'm not going to blow up. That's what's happening. And they're layering it at this point. I mean, just layering it. And these people don't see it. I point it out so you can see it. Look. Here's my confirmation. The email request was utterly trivial. I don't give a crap about the email. As the standard for passing the test was to type some words and press send. Yet so many failed even that inane test, urged on in some cases by their managers. So now you know who the dirty managers are. Have you ever witnessed such incompetence and contempt for how your taxes are being spent? Makes old Twitter look good. Didn't think that was possible. And Matt Walsh had said, I had a low opinion of federal workers before, but now I've seen the meltdown and crying. They're expected to provide the faintest evidence that they actually accomplished anything with taxpayer-funded jobs we've given them. Donald Trump, with the help of Elon Musk, is setting traps all over the government. And they don't see it coming. It's like watching Rambo. You know, you're walking through the jungle and you click something and don't even see it coming. And so now they've sniffed out the managers. Hey, you ain't got to do that. How do I know? The lady on TV said that. He's not my manager. My manager's, oh, okay. Then your manager now needs to go. It's just compounding on itself. It just keeps getting worse and worse for them. Elon posted this. He's been really going at it. Those who ignored President Trump's executive order to return to work have now received over a month's warning. Starting this week, those who fail to return to office will also be placed on administrative leave. It's getting exhausting at this point because I feel like I'm watching a war game take place. I feel like we're seeing how generals map out wars. And unfortunately for the Democrats, they're working against a much better foe. And the Democrats don't have anybody looking out for them. You've got some opportunist lawyers that are trying stuff. You got this: federal workers will now sue over the "What Did You Do" email because Norm Eisen and Civil Service Strong, the shadow organization stacked with Obama loyalists, is funding and organizing all of these lawsuits. They don't have enough money. No more U.S. aid coming. There's only so many lawsuits these people are going to be able to file. And when they're done filing and they're out of money, there ain't much they can do. Buck Sexton, who took Rush Limbaugh's place with Clay Travis, said this. Because I can confirm sources within that the feeling among bureaucrats inside the intelligence community has gone from "we've been here before, we can handle Trump" to now saying, "oh poop, they're serious." They sold him short. They didn't realize what this guy was doing until it was way too late. They thought it would be no big deal. He'll take his time putting his cabinet together and yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. And he had it planned for years, how he was going to attack them. I mean, they're going to write books about this. They will write books about how Trump planned to ensnare the Democrat Party. And it's worked. It's absolutely worked. They don't have any way out. Now here's a story. I can let you read it. I can't vocalize some of what was found. Federal employees, okay, you guys can see this. Federal employees at the NSA, the CIA, and DIA were caught engaging in a secret chat room in which they openly discussed that stuff. All while they were on the clock and being paid by U.S. taxpayers. What did I say earlier? They have everything that they can log in, they can see what you're doing. See, guys like Big Balls and Elon could log in to my computer if I was a government employee. Probably can log in anyway. And they could put their hand over the camera and go, "Hey, how you doing? We're here." No, they're not doing it right now. But these guys were doing all this stuff. Pray for these people. These are some sick, sick people. And now they've been caught doing this kind of stuff on the clock. What do you think else they probably caught these people with? I mean, think about it. And where's Chris Rufo? Okay, this is Chris Rufo. He was the one. And Chris Rufo is the guy who digs and digs. Exclusive. We've obtained logs. Logs. What's a log? From the NSA secret chat room in which the NSA, CIA, and DIA were all employees discussing all that stuff on government time. Pretty sure it's in the handbook you can't do that. The NSA maintains a chat system for the intelligence community called Interlink. The servers are supposed to be used for government work, but gender activists have hijacked at least 2 of the channels. Which I can't read about, but you can read it right in front of you. One popular chat topic was that, which involves that. And, yeah, you see why I can't even read it? That's how bad it got. And they're doing all this on government time. These employees discussed... You get the point. You can follow Christopher Rufo if you want to actually read the entire thread. But it's disgusting. And they were doing it while they were on government computers. Felt fine. Felt completely at ease doing this on government computers. What I've what I've told you for some time is, don't worry as much about what they're telling you as much as what they're not telling you. If they're willing and they can talk to us and say, here's what we found, you can imagine the stuff that they can't talk about. The kind of stuff that Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, and Pam Bondi are going to have to come knocking at the door. Hey, we saw some of this stuff in the chat room. You got to come with us. Remember, the stuff they're telling you isn't the stuff as bad as the stuff they're not telling you. What did President Trump say last week? We got stuff that is, quote, horrible and embarrassing. See, when I'm looking at stuff online and I'm looking at stories, I make sure to remember I've got copies of different things Trump has said, because he's a breadcrumb throwing dude. And I thought to myself, when he said we got some stuff that's horrible and embarrassing, I'm like, what is? I told you we did a show that night. I'm like, horrible and embarrassing, stealing money. Yeah, that's bad, but it's not horrible and embarrassing. That's horrible and embarrassing. These people are sickos. Absolute sickos. That's how we win. Because you know Trump is sitting back with Elon and now Pam, Kash, Dan, and saying, we got all this. What do we do? And it's the most horrific, embarrassing stuff you'd ever want to see. Because nobody cared what these people did. Put it this way. If a guy was willing to go into the halls of Congress and take a butt ride with somebody and film it in Congress, what do you think they're doing on their computers? I feel like I need to bleach everything. I thought long and hard, and I said, do I need to go there tonight? It's nighttime. Do I need to go here? Because I know nobody else is. I know for a fact that I know Dan knows this. I know Dan has known for a couple days that he's probably going to be, he was going to be the deputy director of the FBI. And he's like, I can't touch this. I don't want anyone. This is crazy. This is crazy. They could funnel those kids to wherever they want and set up a fake way to pay for it. You mean like a 360-year-old dead guy? Sitting on $100,000 in an account someplace that nobody knows? Follow the breadcrumbs. They were told never to deny a payment request. I couldn't even imagine telling my accountant that. Just pay everything. Well, do you even want me to verify? Nope, don't verify anything. Pay it all. Okay. We are going to need extra mental institutions built in me. SV says Rachel Maddow just went on a 4-minute unhinged rant against the owner of MSNBC for firing Joy Reid. I told you that this afternoon. She's next. You're seeing the Democrat and some Republicans. I mean, you heard about Dan Crenshaw tonight, right? And what he said about Tucker Carlson on a hot mic. Idiot. These people are losing it. You heard about Tom Cotton. Yeah, he's been kind of vacant the last couple of days. Where you at, Tom? This is going to ensnare a lot of people, left and right. A lot. Makes me want to upchuck. Yeah. I'm doing real good on my diet. Thanks, Barry. Nothing surprises me anymore. Clorox stock is going up. Like I said, I would have rather lost my dinner. Now I can't go to sleep. Oh, I know you can't go to sleep. I told you the story about Robin, and I actually said this to her. I said, let me know when you want to really take that. And if you want to take it, we can go deep. We can talk about if you're ready to go there. And now what you're seeing is it's beginning to bubble up. It's starting to bubble up to the point where people are posting about it. You see, you couldn't even do that under Twitter. You couldn't even bring that up under Twitter. Christopher Rufo would have been banished into the ether for never and never allowed to even say it again. That thing would have lasted up about 2.5 minutes until it got reported, and then you would never see it or him again. The fact that they're complaining about Elon Musk and he just lets you put out stuff like that, that's because you're not supposed to see that. This is our government. This is Navy intel employee getting my thing zapped by a laser. And they never thought anybody would look. Excuse me. Yeah, that kind of made me almost throw up in my mouth a little bit. You can read it. I'm leaving it up here not to show you. I'm leaving it up here so you can see Christopher Rufo's handle so you can go look at what he's found. And by the way, just to let you know, this is a long thread. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. Even Mike Lee was on it. Mike Lee's like, this is the kind of wholesome behavior Americans have sadly come to expect from their government. Yeah. Oof. Yeah, it's bad. I didn't know we were going here tonight. But it is what it is. Oh, we did. No, I'm looking at something SB sent me. He just sent this to me. Breaking, and this is as of 9:21 p.m., so a couple minutes ago. President Caroline Leavitt just revealed that Trump is planning to reach out to the company that was responsible for the Keystone Pipeline. This is how you start energy independence. It will also bring back thousands of jobs. Wow. All right. So since I took you down that little road, and you can do your own homework. Again, that's what I always like to say. Like I told, Zeek was saying, you got to start doing your research because so many people don't really have any idea. And then you tell them, you want to know or you just want to go back to sleep. It's real simple. You can just pretend like it ain't happening. And go, all right, Barry, I've heard enough. I'm going to go back and watch some Matlock episodes, okay? Or maybe some Golden Girls, just to get this out of my head. Because I can't even grasp what you're telling me right now. My mind doesn't go there to butt zapping. I live a decent life. I go to church, and you're telling me my government is doing this stuff. Yes. And your government's been doing this stuff. If you only knew. But see, now it's starting to get into a point where the Democrats are realizing, what do we do? We're you'll see here. Let's continue.
Resignation. South Carolina Congressman Ralph Norman joins me now. Focusing on the bigger picture, shouldn't federal workers that have their job because of our taxpayer dollars be able to find 5 simple things that they did at work in the last week?
Well, Todd, if you look at this, there are roughly 3 million federal workers. The price tag that the taxpayers pay is right at $271 billion a year. Is it too much to ask for them to verify why they're making an average salary of $106,000 a year? Do you think in the private sector that single mom who is working 2 jobs at a restaurant can't justify where she was, or the hygienist at the dentist's office can't verify how many patients they saw? The absurdity and I guess the arrogance of the workers who says that's a heavy lift is what's wrong with that's what the Americans are sick and tired of. It's not their money. We're the ones who are paying the bills. We have a right to know. And Elon Musk is, the numbers don't lie on what he's finding out. And again, it's a great day, and this is going to be transformational for America to finally realize what these federal employees are doing. And many of them are good and can verify it, but to threaten to quit, and for the labor unions to suggest that they not provide it, well, then risk losing your job.
Well, it's such a sense of entitlement, and you see it, they post it on social media, you see it on other media outlets. They feel entitled to these jobs, and they're very upset when people ask them to justify ultimately what they're doing. They don't seem to get that in the private sector. This is par for the course. You consistently have to justify what you do, and that's just how it works. But the left not a fan of this, of course. Democrat Senator Tina Smith ripping Musk's email, quote, "This is the ultimate bleep boss move from Musk, except he isn't even the boss, he's just a bleep. I bet a lot of people have had an experience like this with a bad boss. There's an email in your inbox on Saturday."
Understand, this is a senator. And she was so frustrated, she actually put this out in a tweet. She used a whole word. Every time you see D, you know what she's saying. She said they're completely losing it. Completely.
Saturday night saying, "Prove to me your worthiness by Monday or else. I'm on the side of the workers, not the billionaire bleep bosses." At this point, Congressman, who causes the left to lose their minds more, Trump or Musk?
Well, I think it's a combination. It's the genius of both Trump and Musk who are the American people are excited about what's going on. They finally have a control of something that they feel like we've lost control, particularly with federal workers. And again, the average salary is $106,000, Todd, a year. And to justify where you are, what you do for the last week in the private sector, that would be they would gladly provide that information, because again, it's the taxpayers paying the bill for the federal workers. And in the private sector, you do that every day, or you don't exist. You don't keep your business going.
I have no problem with the employees here saying, "What did you do last week?" And if you can't come up with 5 things that you did, maybe you shouldn't be employed here. So again, this is an easy task. It happens in the private sector all the time. And so I wanted our employees to actually engage and talk about what they did. And I think this whole movement, Bill, is potentially going to make people go, "I'm going to come to work earlier. I'm going to stay later. I'm going to look at what Donald Trump wants me to accomplish because he won the election. And I'm going to fight and work to make sure I help him accomplish that, because I'm a public servant. I don't work for a party or a union or a think tank. I actually work for the president." And again, I think this goes to that point. Just tell us what you did last week.
Okay, so we looked up today's. This morning we are going to announce a collab.
Now this is Governor Glenn Youngkin of Virginia. So obviously, if a whole bunch of people in the Beltway area are about to lose their jobs or get laid off, a smart person would say, "Oh, here's some opportunity. Here's some potential employees that we could use to fill open positions." Obviously, Virginia, Arlington, there's towns all through there that are right on the edge of the Beltway. And so Glenn Youngkin's like, "Don't despair. We got work for you. You can come work."
Effort to bring even more opportunity, more jobs, and more prosperity to people all over the Commonwealth of Virginia. I will also present our Federal Worker Support Resource Package, which at its core is built on the tremendous job opportunities across the Commonwealth and the recognition that people who may have or expect or worry about job interruption, there are opportunities in Virginia, and we want.
You know what that means, kids? I hate to break it to you people in the government, but no unemployment for you. Glenn Youngkin is now saying, "We got jobs. You may not like it because you have to show up, but we got jobs." And so now you might have that severance coming or whatever, but if you get fired, then you're not going to get the severance. And then you're not going to get unemployment because there's jobs right here, right in your same backyard. May not be $106,000 a year. You may not get that cushy work from home deal, but you got a job. You got a job, man.
To help you find them to build the next chapter of your careers right here in the Commonwealth.
As I was watching this, and I'm starting to put all this together, and I'm thinking to myself, did Trump know this too? Did he and Glenn Youngkin get together and say, hey, Glenn, what's your unemployment rate? Oh, yeah, we're looking for a lot of people. Can't get anybody to fill these jobs? No. So if all of a sudden, at one shot, you could fill 4,000 or 5,000 of those jobs, what would happen with the economy in Virginia? Oh, well, that would be fantastic. I'm going to get you them employees, okay, Glenn? And Glenn comes out today and says, Come. I have jobs for you people. You're about to get interrupted. You got a job. Now what do you do? What do you say now, media? These people getting fired aren't out in the cold. They got a job.
Now, in case you haven't heard, Virginia was named by CNBC as America's top state for business. And the reality is that really was, I believe, a well-deserved recognition of the fact that Virginia is indeed the top state in America for business. I mean, it started on day one in our administration. I declared Virginia open for business. I declared that we were going to do the things that we needed to do to get Virginia moving. We were bottom third in the nation in job growth at the time. We had companies saying we're moving away. We, in fact, had seen more people moving away from the Commonwealth of Virginia than moving here from the other 49 states for a decade. And that needed to be changed, and it needed to be changed abruptly. And therefore, today we stand showing the results of that. We stand here today with, and I need to update your numbers, nearly $100 billion of capital that has been committed by companies that are either here, that are going to expand, or new ones.
I got $100 billion to expand business here in Virginia as you're exiting the government. I don't even know how they put this together. There is no accident, and there are no coincidences that he came out and gave that speech today. Yeah, I got $100 billion committed for jobs right here across the street from the government. Brilliance. There are no coincidences. He didn't have to give this speech today. He just came out there. By the way, we got jobs. Come on. I understand President Trump's throwing y'all out. My win. I get to win by this. You people in the state of Virginia, you are going to get to win. There's prosperity for everybody. No need to go on unemployment. No need to go on CNN. You got a job.
Coming from around the United States or overseas who want to make Virginia their home. We have seen 265,000 more people find jobs. And we have 250,000 jobs that are readily available and open for that next chapter of some.
Oh, it's got to. I heard it as I was putting together, and I just went, "Oh my God! Oh, did you just say you got 250,000 open positions across the border, right over the Beltway? You've got 250,000." Trump is a genius. I don't know who else was working with it. They planned it perfectly. Your job's right there with an actual company. You don't need to be here. A lot of people were wondering, and they were saying last week, how is Trump just going to fire all these people? And it's not fair, and they're not going to Now, you know why? We got 250,000 openings here in Virginia.
Someone's career. We've seen 10,000 new high-growth companies spring forward and offer that great moment of realizing not just an entrepreneurial's ambitions, but on top of that, for every new business, they will then go to someone else and echo those most powerful words, "You are hired," and one employee becomes 2, that becomes 4, that becomes 8.
Democrats don't have a chance. I couldn't believe when I heard that. I went, oh, they thought of that already too. You now can't even complain about not having a job when the guy next door is saying, I got a whole bunch. Come on. So that we're not going to have to be stuck paying unemployment. Because now, if there's a job available, which we already know now there's one available, and you don't try to apply, guess what? You're not getting unemployment. Genius. Absolute genius. How they put this together. Absolute genius. I can't believe how genius all this is. Remember, it was four years in the making, maybe 5 years, where, after they went through everything, and the focus, I love it because the focus was on Trump. Oh, he's going to go to court. He's doing this. He's doing that. We're going to make sure that he watches out. And nobody was watching the periphery. Nobody was watching what the other people were setting up. And I just remember seeing his face in court. Sit in front of the camera. And I wondered, why are you just sitting there? I used to think it. And it was because he was taking all the fire. He was being out there taking all the arrows. Meanwhile, his forces were out there putting it all together. And now the Democrats have no way to fix it. Trump is amazing. Yeah. I feel like throwing up now after you told us that stuff. Hey, man. Miss Annette, I didn't tell you. I just showed you. It's out there. And then Trump told you. He goes, there's some horrible and embarrassing stuff. I just showed you this much. Wait till you see the good stuff. Or rather, the really evil stuff. Don't think these people don't know. Don't think. It's not just list. Let me regroup here. Because it's horrible. It's not just lists that everybody has. Everyone says, show the Epstein list. Show the Diddy list. What about pictures and videos? You see, that is going to blow America. Just imagine. You'll never see it. They're not going to show it publicly. Maybe they'll tease us. But when you find out that they actually have tapes and pictures of people doing things who are on the list. See, the list is just a name. That's bad enough. You're like, oh, I can't believe it. But when you see the picture that somebody did with somebody else who wasn't old enough to be doing what they were doing, did I cover myself or I get in trouble again? That's when you go, oh my God. Because remember, when they showed the butt rider in Congress, everyone kind of was like, ew. And it kind of disappeared real quick. He got fired. He was gone. You see, at this point, some of this, you guys know. Yeah, I don't want to say it. When you take God out of the country, you are left with so much evil. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's... All right, so one of the things I've been telling you tonight is that the Democrats are in a real bind. And some people, when I show you these clips, you're going to see the pain in some of these people's faces because they're smart enough to know they're screwed. They're smart enough to realize there's really no way out of this, is there? Nope.
We're about 34 days into Trump 2.0. Let's start with the good. What's he done that you're happy about? Because I'm trying to kind of reframe my whole, it's hard, but let's start out with, okay.
In case you don't know, the black guy you're going to see is Van Jones. This white guy is Donnie Deutsch. Donnie Deutsch used to be on MSNBC. He's still on once in a while. Donnie Deutsch also came from my world. He was a big advertising agency guy, big business, and then he, for some reason, showed up at MSNBC.
Here's what Trump's done that's pleasantly surprised me, or not surprised me, and he said he was going to do this, and I'm happy about it.
Well, he put Miss Alice Johnson, the formerly incarcerated black woman who he freed working with Kim Kardashian. He just put her in charge of pardons. That's huge. Somebody who's actually been incarcerated, been in the federal system, understands how the Department of Justice screws over people who should be coming home. Some people shouldn't come home, but a lot of people should come home, and they get screwed by the pardon office. She's going to fix that. That's, if somebody's worked on criminal justice, as you know, for 30 years, having someone who's a formerly incarcerated person in charge of going through all these pardons and making sure that people get a fair shot, I think that's a very good thing. Don't ask me for number two.
Okay. Let's you and I do a little spit and glue to figure out what we do with the Democratic Party. What would you do right now? Because right now I've never seen a party as lost. I don't feel they represent me. I don't know what they stand for. I would call myself an independent at this point, and I've been a lifelong Democrat. I've never seen them a party more lost at sea. And I'm the message guy. I'm not sure what I would tell them to do right now. Basically, I'd say at this point, you have to let it play out, because right now I don't know what the arguments. It's got to be 6 months from now, eggs are even, the prices are higher. It's got to be that people are starting to really feel these cuts in the government, things like that. Because right now, I don't know what the message.
Look at Van Jones's face. Complete defeat. I mean, there's just nothing left. These two guys have been on television. They should be able to communicate what they think. And he's like, I don't even know what the message is.
And I've never been at a loss of words, if you know me.
The left right now is so lost, and they readily admit that they're struggling to find their identity, and they're struggling to find
This is Nicole Shanahan, who has been a Democrat. She was RFK Jr.'s running mate, and she's talking to Russell Brand here.
their moral high ground. And my recommendation is to those individuals is, I've been there, and you have to actually leave the party. And you have to admit that the left has been hijacked. It's like a plane that got hijacked, and you are a passenger on that plane, and you must get off and pull your parachute immediately, because the individuals that have hijacked that plane, they do not care about you. They do not care about this country, and they do not really care about civility. And it's time for you to get off.
Mark Cuban, no friend of Donald Trump. I think we can say he's a pretty fair critic.
This one here, Mark Cuban. You know, if Mark Cuban is abandoning the Democrat Party, they're in huge trouble.
Right? Here he is going after Democrats, saying that they can't sell their own message.
The Democrats can't sell word. Donald Trump can sell. You know, if you gave the Democrats a dollar bill and said you can sell these for 50 cents, they would hire 50 people to decide if they really, to try to figure out how to do it, and then would not know how to sell a dollar bill for 50 cents. If you gave it to Donald Trump and said sell this dollar bill for $2, he'd figure out a way, right? He'd tell you that $2 bill is huge.
Okay, so to your point then, Kayleigh, they're going to have to sell this.
Right.
Ultimately, and they're going to have to convince people that it's effective in what they're doing.
And there's such a dearth of fresh ideas. I'm just struck. He's exactly right. You know, Chuck Schumer thought that he came up with the general thrust of the 2026 message as outlined in Politico, and it was about the reconciliation bill going through Congress. And here it is. The Republican goal is to give billionaire buddies a tax break and have you, the American people, pay the cost. That's 2016 Bernie Sanders. I mean, we've heard this before. They need something fresh. It's the same old tired talking points.
Let me move on.
Well, see, at this point, I think everyone on television needs to stop telling them that. Let them just keep doing what they're doing. Let's just watch them go down the tubes. As Nicole Shanahan said, let them drive the airplane into the big mountain. They can't change. You're going to hear from Cory Booker here. They can't change because Donald Trump has co-opted them. Anything they would do, he's already got Democrats who are now MAGA doing what they would normally do. RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, they don't have anywhere to pivot. they would have to get rid of many of the politicians in their coffers. You'd have to get rid of AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Presley, Bernie. You need a wholesale change at this point, and you can't do it.
Now, because I want to talk to you about some of the rhetoric that we're hearing and talking about President Trump's aggressive use of executive power. Some of your colleagues have been saying that America is in a, quote, constitutional crisis. I want to play you some of that sound.
This is a constitutional crisis. It's the most serious assault on our Constitution in the history of this country.
Yeah, listen, I think this is the most serious constitutional crisis the country has faced, certainly since Watergate.
We are basically on the cusp of a constitutional crisis.
Senator, as you know, Democrats just lost an election largely with a closing argument accusing Trump of being a threat to the democracy. Is that the most effective messaging right now?
Of course it isn't, but they don't have anything else. So this is MSNBC. Kristen Welker works with MSNBC. So people are starting to question him. Hey, man, you got the worst rap ever. Nobody's listening to you anymore. But you can't pull up. Your plane is ditching and you can't pull up because you got nothing. I love it. Nothing. And we're watching them flounder, whatever the word is, and they can't come up.
The most effective messaging is talking about the crisis that's happening to Americans.
So they shouldn't be talking about a constitutional crisis.
I'm saying we should be talking about what's happening to Americans. I had one of the biggest hospital leaders in my state call me up and talk about the cancer research that's now in crisis, literally ruining years of research, literally having to take cancer treatments away from people, cutting-edge breakthrough treatments. What's crazy is crisis when you have planes falling from the sky and you're cutting FAA folks. It is a crisis when nuclear regulatories who are keeping our safe regulators are being...
See what I mean? Same old stuff. Blame, blame, blame. Lie, lie, lie. I'm waiting. I won't hold my breath, but I'm waiting for some Democrat to tell me what they can do for people. Because they don't ever say, you know what, we'd like to help new business, not DEI. We like to help anyone who wants to open new business, and our plan is to do this and this to help you prosper. I said that earlier. What are you going to do to help somebody prosper? They have no idea. None.
I could go through this. I have farmers calling me up who put out tens of thousands of dollars on the understanding in the deal that they would get certain resources from the federal government, now threatening to lose their farms. Everywhere in America, red state to blue states, we are seeing real crises that Elon Musk, who's a billionaire who never has to think about where his next meal is coming from, where his medical treatment and how that will be paid for. Americans are feeling a crisis right now, and they're feeling pain that to them was unimaginable in a president they put their trust in that would lower their prices and make their lives more easily, not do things that make us so much less safe. Look, all this talk about USAID, I have visited people on the front line stopping infectious diseases from coming here. To have scientists in dangerous areas like Kampala.
I don't care about Kampala. I don't even know where Kampala is. As far as I know, Kampala is Kamala's sister. What the hell do I care about Kampala? They've completely lost it. They don't even understand. Can you talk to Americans? Not the CEO of a hospital. Talk to, Johnny and his wife and say, you guys are going to be able to afford a 4-bedroom house. You're going to be able to move into a gated community with what we have planned for you. We're going to show you how you can, go and get a new car. You never hear that. Never. It's always about the poor peoples. The poor peoples. We got to take care of the poor peoples. Hey, man, how about you let people prosper and they'll take care of themselves? The Democrats have become the party of this many people. That's it.
Suddenly not be able to get their access to their cell phone, their emails, and be cut off by a president and Elon Musk who are in a ham-handed, incompetent way cutting funding that makes no sense and ultimately won't make a difference on our deficit because the president wants to rack it up to give tax cuts to the wealthiest and create even bigger deficits in our country.
Let me ask you.
You see, they don't know any different. Millionaire, billionaire, and all this stuff, you keep hearing it. And Trump's talking to the individual person, the individual man and woman. and said, I'm going to make your life better. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. We're going to do everything we can so that you don't need the government. My job is to protect you. Your job is to do what you need to do to feed your family and prosper. Not just get by, but thrive. Not just survive, but thrive. And these people don't have any idea about helping people thrive. It's just not even in their vocabulary. They don't even know how to look at that. Hey, Corey, how do you create more $100,000 jobs? How do you create more businesses? How are you going to help people, move to the next level? They never talk about it.
This broader divide, though, within the Democratic Party. You have some Democrats saying, let's sit back a little bit.
What they are paid to do. Congresswoman, there are a lot of people who still are out there wondering, where's the fire and the fight from elected Democrats? Where are they? Why aren't they bringing, fighting fire with fire? Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that critique? And two, do you think the Democrats in Congress are getting better at pushing back against what's happening?
I think that we're struggling from a lot of the things that we struggled from during the campaign, which was that we may be pushing back, but that doesn't necessarily mean that people can hear us or see us. Some of us have the ability to be a little bit more amiable when it comes to working in different types of platforms, and therefore you end up being seen a lot more. I will tell you that I have conversations consistently, day and night. There are so many chats that we have where we are talking about what we're going to do, and we're talking about what we are doing. But a matter of...
I showed her earlier because she kind of has the key here, but she doesn't know how to articulate it. Stop talking to the same people you're talking to. Earlier I told you, talk to people who already are successful. You're talking to the same congressional people who don't give a crap. So their ideology is a prison. They don't even understand how to begin talking to people about being prosperous. One of the things that Trump kept saying, what did he say? We're going to make America safe again. We're going to make America great again. We're going to make America wealthy again. All the things that people are like, yeah, I want to be safe. I want to be wealthy. I'd like to be on a great side. What do you got for me, Democrats? You never talk about helping me be wealthy. Oh no, we can't have you do that. You'd be a millionaire, billionaire. Can't do that. Why? Why is it you want to subjugate people and keep them in a certain place? Because that's the entirety of the business model of being a Democrat.
Simplifying those things is a lot more difficult. And I think that it's important that those of us that sit in Congress have to figure out what is really the best way for us to communicate. And we've got to settle into that and recognize that not everyone's going to sit on a podcast, not everyone's going to be social media savvy, but they are going to have to find their communication lane. And so
See, that's what I had played earlier, that end part of that cut, where she's trying to tell people you need to communicate. And the best way to communicate with people is to empathize with them, understand their situation, and then figure out how to help them beyond that situation. Democrats don't have empathy. They don't understand it. It's not something that they can really grasp because they don't have the passion. They don't believe it. It's amazing to me that Joy Reid gets fired. And why it's amazing is because you see I post, hey guys, thank you. I was number 4 on Saturday and number 2 on Sunday. And I know today I'm going to be probably around 16 or 18 because the big boys came back on. So I need to keep pushing so I can get up into the top 10 when everybody's broadcasting. Well, she's got the same kind of ratings. Joy, you're not charting. Your show sucks. You need to change something. Otherwise, we're probably not going to be able to keep you. And then Joy goes on and she starts crying today because she couldn't believe that they canceled me and threw me out of the building. That's because your show sucked. We could have told you for a long time your show sucked. Nobody wants to hear that crap. And so what did her compadre do today? Did she talk about changing things? Does she talk about maybe, Joy, we can help you have done, or even change your own show? No. She's begging to get fired as well.
PM hour, all the other nights except for Mondays. So that's a big change. An even bigger programming change is at 7 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern, where Joy Reid's show, The Readout, ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network. She is leaving the network altogether. And that is very, very, very hard to take. I am 51 years old. I have been gainfully employed since I was 12. And I have had so many different kinds of jobs, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. But in all of the jobs I have had, in all of the years I have been alive, there is no colleague for whom I have had more affection and more respect than Joy Reid. I love everything about her. I have learned so much from her. I have so much more to learn from her. I do not want to lose her as a colleague here at MSNBC. And personally, I think it is a bad mistake to let her walk out the door. It is not my call, and I understand that. But that's what I think. I will tell you, it is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got two non-white hosts in primetime, both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows, as is Katie Fang on the weekend. And that feels worse than bad, no matter.
So the network that pays you, $25 million a year, the network that you've got their logo sitting right there at the bottom of the screen, you're about to tell the world they're racist. Something's gotten in the water with liberals. I can't.
Who replaces them? That feels indefensible, and I do not defend it. But there's just one other piece of it that you should know. From your side of the TV screen, you will mostly see changes in terms of who's in the anchor chair. And actually, everybody who's going to be in anchor chairs from here on out are great colleagues and great at what they do, and you are not going to be disappointed in who's on our air and what you're going to be seeing. But one thing you cannot necessarily see is that the people who get our shows on the air, they're really being put through the ringer. Dozens of producers and staffers, including some who are among the most experienced and most talented and most specialist producers in the building, are facing being laid off.
So what you're hearing is the same thing you've heard with the government people. They have so entrenched their mindset into Marxism and communism is that she can't even fathom that people are being fired, that a business decision is taking place. It's not about you, Joy. You're a nice person. We don't have anything, bad to say about you, Joy. Just that your show sucks. We're not making any money, Joy. And the only reason we're paying you $3 million a year is because we were hoping to make money. And so, Joy, you decided to go on this tangent where everybody was racist. And you decided you wanted to go full bore with the Transformers. It was your decision, your creative decision. So you put all this staff and crew on your back to ride or die. And so as Rachel's talking here about the crew and everybody, they're all getting laid off, they chose to stay on. I'd have been like, hey man, I can't work with this woman. She cray-cray. Or Joy could have went to these people and said, are you comfortable with everything that's going? Well, Joy, since you asked, I pulled up the ratings last week and you suck. So I'm thinking our lifespan here isn't going to be really long because you suck. Or as what's his name?
These people are about 10 exits past normal. Look, you just got to try harder not to suck.
You just got to try harder not to suck. But you didn't. You didn't try. You just kept straight ahead, running with the same old lame message that nobody wants to hear. And now you've got Rachel Maddow all out here, you know, it's one of the best people I've ever known, and this and that, and she I love her hair, and, you know, well, whatever hair she has left, except she's not making the company you work for any money. You could have the next. You guys know, some of you, I used to do a Dolphins talk show, and I abandoned it because Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback of Miami, is an unbelievable nice guy. He does so much for the community. He's a Christian. He's such a nice guy. He just happens to suck as a quarterback. So you got to be able to recognize the difference. Joy Reid, yeah, she's your nice, good friend, your buddy, yeah, but she sucks as a host.
They're being invited to reapply for new jobs. That has never happened at this scale in this way before when it comes to programming changes, presumably because it's not the right way to treat people, and it's inefficient, and it's unnecessary, and it kind of drops the bottom out of whether or not people feel like this is a good place to work, and so we don't generally do things that way. Maybe all of our folks, including most of the people who are getting this very show on the air right now, maybe they will all get new jobs here, and I hope they do, but in the meantime, being put in this kind of limbo, the anxiety and the discombobulation is off the charts at a time when this job already is extra stressful and difficult. It is not news for...
Okay, so you're a CEO, C-suite person at, you know, Comcast, which owns MSNBC, and you hear the person you're paying $25 million a year basically tell you everything other than working about the bottom line. I don't care if you're upset. I don't care. That's not my job. My job is to pay you. Your job is to get eyeballs so that I can sell ads. And hopefully I get enough ads to pay your sorry behind. Nobody cares about your fee-fees. I don't care if your nipples hurt. It doesn't really matter. You better get ratings or you're going to join your friend Joy on some off-channel podcast because I can't take it anymore. So I'm telling you, Rachel, start talking about stuff that people want to talk about or you're going to be right with her. Bye. And I'd walk out.
I need to tell you that the press and freedom of the press are under attack in a way that is really, it's a big deal for our country. It's very visceral for us here. I know that the business of the press is not an easy thing, and I know that no job is forever. But I think I'm safe in saying for all of us anchors who you know through the TV, please know that what pains us the most is not what happens to us. It is what happens to our coworkers on whom we depend and who you don't.
The most important thing with doing anything media related should never be about your coworkers or yourself. It should be about the people who watch and the sponsors that pay for it. You moron. You completely missed it. I couldn't believe she said that. I'm like, no. Your audience is most important. The community you build is most important. Not you and your coworkers. You cannot tell your boss, but I'm friends with her.
Don't necessarily know, but we respect and love them and depend on them. And did I mention we respect them? This is a difficult time in the news business, but it does not need to be this difficult. We welcome new voices to this place and some familiar voices to new hours. It's going to be great, honestly, and we want to grow and succeed and reach more people than ever and be resilient and stay here forever. I also believe, and I bet you believe, that the way to get there is by treating people well. Finding good people, good colleagues, doing good work with them, and then having their back. That we could do a lot better on. A lot better. I'll be right back.
Well, somebody needs to walk down the hall and say, pack your crap. Get out. I don't even know how, somebody goes, So she should be done tomorrow. Let's see how she can still be there after that. Unless she's got pictures of a guy with a goat or something, I don't know how you keep that employee. Maybe she wants to get fired. Maybe there's something in her contract that says, if you go the route of, Joy Reid, we got to pay you $30 million to get out of your contract. And so maybe she's just going to make everybody miserable until she's told to leave. I don't know. But these people just completely missed the boat. Coffin dance. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, well, yeah, exactly. But yet you can call 50% of the country brown shirts, deplorables, etc. Idiots. The left has lost it. But it's not over. The losing of it is going to continue. So I showed you some stuff that was kind of vile. Let me just add to that. FBI whistleblower claims Epstein files being deleted amid transparency push. A whistleblower has claimed that people at the FBI are deleting files related to Jeffrey Epstein, sparking discussions among Republican politicians and the public about transparency and accountability. What do you think they're destroying? What would they be shredding or destroying? Yeah, pictures and videos. This all ties together. I mean, Michael Schellenberger, who I think is a good reporter, he just posted this an hour ago. He goes, FBI whistleblower confirmed to me that a source inside FBI said employees were destroying evidence on servers, and that he informed Kash Patel. I hope he, Bondi, Radcliffe, Musk are preventing this. We urgently need disclosure. Our government's screwed. These people are some of the most vile people around, and they're in our government. It's just amazing when you look at what's happening and how it's happening. It's nuts. Two things I wanted to show you. This one here. More heads exploding tomorrow. President Trump. I mean, it's 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night, and Trump's still breaking news. I can't sleep. President Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth are now considering eliminating the U.S. Africa Command to reduce Department of Defense costs. Doing so would instantly save approximately, and no typo, $500 billion just by pulling out of this Africa Command or whatever it is, wherever it is. 500 billion, or is that million? 500 million. 500 million. They're going to freak. They are going to absolutely lose it. And just before I leave you here, we're going to give out some hoodies. Tonight, it's official. Vivek Ramaswamy is going to be running for the governorship of Ohio. He announced today. And in accordance with that announcement, this happened. Donald Trump. Vivek Ramaswamy is running for governor of the great state of Ohio. I know him well, competed against him, and he is something special. He's young, strong, and smart. Vivek is also a very good person who truly loves our country. He will be a great governor of Ohio, will never let you down, and in giant big words, has my complete and total endorsement. Nick says also that polls currently show Vivek with a massive lead, up 28 points in the Republican primary. So Vivek, people have asked, why did he go? Why did he leave Doge? Why is he no longer in Doge? Because he's going to be the next governor of Ohio. Plans being made, strings being pulled, and then tonight President Trump comes out and endorses him, which is absolutely awesome. So it is 10:25 at night, and like I said, things just keep happening. What is this? 99% of USAID money would not pass an audit. Even the money that was deployed for good causes was wrapped up in fraud, incompetence, and abuse. A U.S. aid recipient of an 8-figure grant. we gotta start seeing people get taken out. I mean, we have to. This is crazy. Who's going to replace the Maine governor? Good point. She's in trouble already. All right, so let's go ahead and give away the hoodies right now. I think I spent the time yesterday making sure that this is working now, and we should be ready to go without much of a problem. Okay, so let's give away some hoodies in a second. Where'd that go? Okay. All right. I am ready to go. Let me just check one thing else here before I go in. Do I have to do something else? Oh, my friends at Patriot Addict want me to tell you about something else that they're doing. Let's see here. Again, Patriot Addict is giving away Trump mystery boxes absolutely free, no hidden charges, no recurring fees, none of that. Just covers shipping starting at only $13.99. If you're interested, go ahead and scan the QR code right now. I'm going to be getting the actual URL probably in the next day or so. Ashley's getting that, so I'll put a full screen thing up there. Imagine unpacking Trump gold bars, Trump socks, Trump beanie hats, and who knows what else. But hurry, stocks are flying off the shelves, and we would not want you to miss it. Don't wait. Scan the QR code now, this QR code right here, and get your free Trump mystery box. Right now, shipping is only starting at $13.99. So let's go ahead and do the hoodies. All right, first person, Shannon Jones. Shannon Jones, you have won a hoodie. Remember, I owe 2 from last night, so we're going to go 5 here. That's 1. Let's see, next one. Rosemary Wrecker. Rosemary Wrecker, you have won a Trump hoodie. Let's go with number 3. Number 3 is, and I quote, Michelle Shannon. Michelle Shannon, you have won a free hoodie. So far, all ladies. Number 4 is, I don't know if that's a lady or a man, Mahai Iocham. Sorry if I said that wrong. And then one more for the 5th one, because we owed 2 from yesterday. David Robertson. Congratulations, you guys have all won Trump hoodies. Now I've gonna go ahead and recognize any super chats that came in, and hope you guys followed Zeek, by the way. I like that guy. Good job, Ashley. Good job getting him in. Alright, so let me see this, and then we can, okay, boom, we're good to go. Sheila, is it Sheila? Yeah, Sheila Martinez, thank you. Mark of Reality, hello, haven't heard you in a while. Rwanda just invaded the Congo flag. VFX Mark, even if my union told me you don't have to reply to that email, if my butt is on the line and the president gave me a due date of termination if I don't send it back, you bet I'm filling it out. Absolutely. Because the union ain't going to help you when you can't feed your kids. Jeff Jewell, as a pastor, I had to tell my church monthly what I did and how many people visited, and how many of them were not members of the church. It's all about accountability. They want no accountability. Donald Donovan, in my past 4 jobs, I've had to do a daily production report, so I don't know what the problem is with letting your boss know what you've done for the week. Nobody can understand this. It makes absolutely no sense. Demon of Cybertron, we need to see chain gangs in D.C. I agree. Peaceful Haven Studio and Media, how Granny sees it. But why did Tulsi and Cash tell them their departments do not answer them all? Tulsi and Cash, FBI and NSA, or whatever, National Security, whatever, probably to say something would interfere with classified information. That's probably why. And Granny C, I got your email. I'm going to respond to that tomorrow. Shawnarella saw Tick-Tock Transformer bragging about his new birth certificates with new name and new gender. Do they get new? Do they get new Social Security numbers? Interesting. Fume drummer. Just so your audience knows, I was trying to buy at Lear, and I got this message at checkout. Lear Capital does not do business with residents of the state of New York. I did not know that. I will make sure to ask them about that. Doesn't do business with residents of the state of New York. Interesting. I will find out. Thank you. Born on the 4th. How does a 350-year-old person be paid Social Security when the country is only 249 years old? Exactly. Arizona guy 1. Here I worked as a power plant engineer for 27 years. We had to fill out daily maintenance paperwork and failure reports. These were mandatory. Yeah, of course. Sheila Marie, Barry, it's worse for internal controls. The states get the federal appropriations and general federal checks. There's no way to differentiate newcomers on the payment screens. Auto run daily. Wow. Wayne Bailey, Trump, or Barry, it's close. Jean Lee, you read my super chat earlier about the polls. The poll wasn't about you. It was about Trump polls going down according to the Libnuts. My polls say you and Trump are number one. Thank you. Thank you very much. Arizona guy 1. Sheldon Whitehouse is in major trouble. Millions to his wife. Whew, he looked kind of shady. Izzy MP, thank you very much. Good night, everyone. I have to work for the government in the morning. The legacy government can't stop what is coming. We are winning. Absolutely. Beverly Litton. How many departments inhabited by spirits of Baal and Moloch? They need to be exorcised. Yes. Fernando Cardenas, you will be in the White House press room, Barry. Thank you. I'll wait for the call or the email. Then I got to pass the background check, which I should be okay. John Pryor, it's much worse than we can imagine. Yes. Because we don't want to imagine it. Our minds can't go to what they've been doing. Just another knucklehead. Tip jar, I'm not amazed or amused anymore. Terrible with how we have let things get so out of control. Yeah, I agree. Maria, Tim Burchett reports that federal employees on the work from home program are calling in and saying they can't come back into the office. Wait for it. They no longer live in the area. Stan Cherry, who's going to hire these lazy sick people? Good point. Good point. Beverly again, would Governor Youngkin really want to hire the underachievers cut by Doge? Oh, well, it depends on the job. Valerie Nelson, maybe the senators should all tell us that they did later week besides stand around and twiddle thumbs in a chamber and visit with cronies. Yeah, they do that all the time. Police 45, Common says find her another job. I did as well. Keith Hamilton, thank you. Keith Hamilton again. I'm a civil service. Our department heads have told us not to respond. That's the confusion. I decided this evening to back to work, even though one-day shift, and send an email. Those department heads are screwed. They're done. Because who's giving them the direction to not respond? See, that's going to be a huge problem. Is who are you to tell people not to respond? Bring out the Kennedy clip after MSC host gets fired. Try to suck less. I just played it. Aussie Johnny, FBI staff may delete stuff on servers, but they won't be able to access backups, many of which are stored off-site. Bingo. Yep. Remember, Pam Bondi got in there, a week or two weeks ago? Sarah Brierly, thank you. Hey, Neil, how you doing? Great live cast as IRS see fraud income filed. Well, I haven't heard much about the IRS other than, Trump laying people off. Beverly Litton, all the weeds need to go. Those hurt Trump in his first term. Absolutely. And William Santos, hey, Barry, thanks for all the good insight and up the good jobs. Thank you guys very, very much. I hope you enjoyed tonight. I hope you enjoyed Zeek. Go ahead and, by the way, let me see if I can find his handle again in case you didn't have a chance to write it down. Oh, like I said, things keep happening. Elon posts this. Ed Wilkins says the deep state will not go down without a fight. Buckle up. And you see Elon's response. Cracks knuckles. This is getting good. This is like really getting good, isn't it? I mean, it's crazy what we're seeing happen. I mean, this is the stuff they like make movies out of. And it's crazy. Again, if you want to follow Zeek, go to Zeek Arkham, at Zeek Arkham. You can get a hold of him there. I don't have an answer. I don't know where this stuff is going. I don't know how it's going to end. But it seems like it's going to a very, very crazy place. So that's why I keep telling people, do what you need to do and get ready. Get absolutely ready. All right, after party coming. You guys hang out. We'll see you tomorrow. And I have no idea what time because I don't know what his schedule is like yet. So we'll check with you in the morning. Thanks for tuning in.
you.